it may be. There we are. That's that. Now, from now on, we're just going to do the top half, or the top parts of the red areas. We're not doing all of them, so when we start lighting, when we come back to doing that part, that's all we'll be doing. So look down on it, we're just going to be doing those parts you can see there. But we need to go into our deep blue, give it a good shake, and we can put some of this on our palette, just wipe some off the nozzle. There we are. And we'll add some of that onto the palette and we'll make a start on giving the base area, applying the base colour to the blue areas. That's what I was trying to say. It just didn't come out that way. There we are. So anywhere that is blue, any areas on the mini rather that is blue, I'll just paint that area. Keep in mind, don't paint into the shadows. What we do in the shadows is keep them dark. And I'm hoping some of you got that reference. Yes, because it links in with Marvel a little bit, so let's see if anybody can tell me what the reference was in regards. As I said, I'm not going to repeat it. If you want to find out what I'm talking about, or if you want a reminder of what I'm talking about, if you missed it the first time, then please feel free to rewind the video or reverse the video for a little bit, and then you can hear what was said, and then you can just let me know what the link is with Marvel from what I've just sort of told you there. I'm just curious if anybody actually listens to what I say, whether they just turn up for the painting bits. I'm nosy that way. Yeah. So that's that bit's done, and now I'll just go over here. Again, making sure that the shadows remain dark. And we'll just add all these nice little areas with the blue. I hope you can all see this anyway, now that I've zoomed out again. The muscle tone is not as distinct as it was in Rumble Slam. In those videos, they're very severe or very big and exaggerated muscle tone areas where we could get the keep shadowing them, but with this mini you don't get that. It's very, very subtle, so we're just trying our best to pick out areas that we can keep as shadow. There we go. I have noticed, I'm going to go back into the dark tone for this because I have noticed here that there isn't a shadow at all and it's a slight recess. So I'm just going to go over this area once again, and if any of the blue that I've just applied isn't dried yet, I'm not really too fussed about that because it's going to be under the Mini, so it'll act as a bigger shadow. Oh yeah, that will do fine. Now we're going to let all that let all that go, and we're going to go into the fang. And we'll get the base done. I don't usually do the base until last, but what the heck, I'm going to do it now. For the simple reason being, I'm giving the wash a little extra time to dry. I know there's not all that much on there, but by the time I've just finished, so it's like doing this bit. It'll be right. In fact, I don't want the grey yet, I want black. I want to paint it all black first of all. What am I doing? Blooming idiots. So, have I done black first of all? Fool. So, I've got a damp brush, I'm just going straight out of the tin bottle with this, tub, whatever you want to call it. Put a little more around the edge here, just to make sure it's all covered up. Basically it's going to be cleaned up anyway by the time I finish. But that's the, actually I've gone in quite well with the black for that area, so I don't need to come in again with a smaller brush. That'll do. So quite happy with that. And for the, it's not that one, Warplot Bronze, that was it. So there we are, Warplot Bronze. That's the one I'm going to paint the girder with for the time being. Again, I'm just going straight into the pot. I'm not faffing about with it. I've got a damp brush, and it's just going to be a quick blink, blink, blink. See on the edges, it's pulling away from the edges and leaving them white. That's not the effect I'm looking for, but it's still doing the same thing. So I'll leave that to dry and then come back to it. Best thing I can do for the time being. So we're looking at highlighting the red areas. Where is that colour that I'm looking for? There it is. So the red areas. we are going to brighten up by using Flash Gitch Yellow. So we'll get an amount of that on the palette. So it's going to be going up to orange, this, but I may control how much it is, how much it changes to orange by the use of our usual Screaming Skull highlight, which I need to put on here as well. There you go. Have I not my palettes? I think I have. Okay. So, where do we start with highlighting Spider-Man? Well, where I'm starting with highlighting Spider-Man is by putting some red to one side, in that a little bit of yellow, and a spot of the Screaming Skull. And we don't want it too pale yet. We don't want it shifting too much away from red at the moment, but I better put my funky doobies on. Where's the lens? It's falling out, so there we are, got it. So the lens is falling out. Now I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and then you can see just what I'm doing, and then I'm just going to zoom out. Once you've seen a few, I'll zoom out, shut up, play some music, and just get on with highlighting. So again, we're not doing all of these, we're doing ones that appear along the top of his body. And down the side. The ones on the top of his body, you can do as much of those ones as you wish, but try not to cover all of what you've previously done. That's the trick with these. I think I've got most of the parts that I wanted to highlight done. We do need to come back over here and touch up a couple of areas. And That will do the trick. You may have noticed that I'm only bothering with the bottom parts. I'm not bothering doing the top areas because I want them kept in shadow. There we are. So let us have a pop now at the blue areas, and as per usual it's blue with a screaming skull mixed in. A little more blue because that's too bright at the moment. There we are. And let's take these off. These are actually doing me nothing because they're pushing my glasses further and further down my nose. So as you can see, I'm just making little movements with the brush to add the highlights. These aren't, as I said before, these aren't majorly developed muscles. I think I did mention earlier though that I want the highlights to be along the upper edge and not underneath. Some areas on this I have actually made a slight exception to, and I'm putting a slight highlight underneath, but that's to try and show some form of scattered light or reflection or some such that it's picking up, and especially on top of a raised area around a crease. It's just basically to make the muscle on the indents to stand out a lot more. Right, we are going to continue. I'm not sure what happened as to whether or not my camera went off or not, but I saw an alert thing on the screen, so I don't know how long it was flashing or whether it's affected the viewing of the video at all. But as soon as I saw it, I stopped everything, went and emptied my camera, and we can carry on now. So, where did we leave off? Oh yes, we were doing this bit with the red, weren't we? So, I'm not sure which parts we've done and which parts we haven't, because this is a very subtle kind of colour. It's not standing out a great deal, so, which is basically what we wanted. We didn't want it just standing out too much, because it would look odd if we did that. So we've just done one that's very, very subtle, and we're just going to see what we can do with it. So fingers, finger, 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 palm, heel, toe, so yeah, I'm hoping I'm just covering a few different areas that need the extra What's what I'm looking for? I need just a little bit more in the line of brightness. So that'll do for that bit. Next we'll go into rinsing the brush out first of all, and then we will go into blue. I'm rinsing the brush out because I want to control how much of this is used. Now I am trying to keep away from that tone there, so I'm adding blue to where it stands just a little bit brighter than what we've already got mixed, and that way I can control it a lot more. Because the one thing I really don't want to do is have it too bright. Just and then add some more blue. I put way too much Screaming Skull in this part. Well, let's see how this looks, shall we? Oops. So yes, again, I'm just doing little lines. Just to pick up the high points of the mini. Now I think I could do with putting a little bit more Screaming Skull than with that. I didn't think there was enough blue in, but there may well have been. And I'm just going to add some little lines. And hopefully you can see what I'm doing. And hopefully you can see that I'm not filling in all the previous steps. I'm just touching very small areas of this just to pick out highlights and bright points. Just like so. Everything down there is in shadow. Let's have a look at the back though. Now the back, we can do a little bit here and a little bit down there and down here. Trying hard not to do too much. Oh, yeah. That should do the job nicely. Next step, what I want to do is go into black once more. I haven't got any black on the... What have I done with the black? Just right in front of my nose. No wonder I can't see it. I'm going to add some black onto this now. Just get some on. We don't need a great deal of this anyway. Okay, and for this, we're going to be doing, to the best of my ability, which isn't very good, we're going to be going over the edges of the eyes. one. I know they stand out too much on this, but the thing is, where do you draw the line? If you do it too small, you're not able to paint it. If you do it too big, it just doesn't look right. And there's the position we're in. We want it big enough to paint, but by doing that, it looks slightly off. So we'll do that. Now how we're looking on the how is that looking? That's looking okay. So that's that bit